Hi, welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss Fibonacci series. So, what is Fibonacci series? This is frequently asked interview question. So, the Fibonacci series is a sequence of numbers. So, where each number is the sum of two preceding one. Usually start from 0 and 1. So, it will going to start from 0 and 1. 0 and 1, what is the next number? Is a sum of the two preceding one. So, two preceding one, 0 plus 1, the next number should come 1. So next number preceding two number. So 1 plus 1, 2 it will come. Then again 1 plus 2, 3. Then again 2 plus 3, 5. And 3 plus 5, again here it goes to 8. And 5 plus 8, it goes to 13. And 13 plus 8, actually it goes to 21. So this is the way it goes. This is called Fibonacci series. Each number is found by adding the two numbers before it. This is what your Fibonacci series. Suppose if I give 5, see suppose if I give that 5 times, then it will go to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times it goes iterate and it's going to print this one. If you give 6, then it is going to print this one. Right? So let us write a code and understand. We are going to discuss using a for loop, how we can achieve this, and we'll understand using a while loop as well. So it's going to start from 0 and 1, right? So now I'll explain these things, how we are going to write a code. So now suppose if I'm making as a 0 and 1 is a equal to 0 and b equal to 1. So now I am declaring these two variables, a equal to 0, b equal to 1. Now I want to print that, 0 and 1 already printed. Now I want to print the third one. So third one, as I said before, sum of these two preceding one. So now I just want to go c equal to a plus b. This is what your answer of c, right? A plus b. Now the next iteration, I want to make this is a because already these two numbers added and it's printed over here. Now I want to, for this number, I want to add this and this. So I just make b equal to a and c equal to a, c equal to b. For example, now we are getting a plus b. This one is a 1, right? This is the answer is 1. Now I just wanted to make b equal to a and c equal to b. So now the next iteration, this two number will going to, add. So this is the way it's going to iterate, till that n number of times. How many times we are asking, till that it's going to iterate. So now let's go and write a code for that. So initially I'm using a for loop, then we'll go for a while loop as well. So I'll say int a equal to 0 and b equal to 1. This is I'm initially making this. Now I just wanted to make a how many count it goes, right? So for that I can say count equal to, for example, 8 times. Okay, it's till 8 times it's supposed to iterate and it's going to print. So now I want one more variable, right? To adding this two number, I want to store it in a one more variable. So I can make it as a sum equal to, initially it will be 0. Now here I'm using a for loop. So for loop, I can say for int I equal to, start from 1, I equal to I less than equal to count. So till the time it has to iterate. So I'm just adding a count. Then we have to say I plus plus. So as I said before, first I'll be printing a A. Okay. First I'll printing a A over here. First it will going to 0, it will going to print. Next time, as I said before, C equal to A, sum equal to A plus B, right? So now here I'm saying sum equal to A plus B. So before what I said, then again we have to make it a, this is A, this is B. The next iteration, what I need to say, this is A, this is B. So here I'm saying A equal to B and B equal to the sum. Now, once it is printed, then what happens? Going to add this two number a plus b and store it in this variable. Okay. After that, after adding this value, we are making changes a equal to b equal to sum. So meaning that this will become a a, this will become a b. The next iteration, this will become a, this has become b. So next iteration a, b. So on it's going to, iterate. So now let's run this. We'll see how it's printing. So let's run this. It is printed 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 30. Till that it is printed. So this is what your Fibonacci series. This is the way it has to print. Right? Suppose if I am changing the number, count it, if I make it as a 9. Right? So now it's going to print till 9 count, it's going to iterate. See 21, till 21 it's getting printed. If you make it as a 10, it's going to add this two number. 21 plus 13, it's almost 34, right? So it is going to print 34. So let me check this. See, it's printed till 34, it is getting printed. So Fibonacci series is nothing but adding the two numbers before the number. I mean preceding two integer. This is what your Fibonacci series. Now this is a for loop. Same way we can go with the while loop as well. Let's command this line. So I'll show you how we have to go with the while loop. So now this is a for loop. Same way we can go with that while loop as well. So initialization, everything is same. And if you want to print, I'll go with int I equal to 1. So I'll start from here. Then I'll go with the while loop. While loop I less than equal to count. So initially what we have done so far here, right? The same thing here we have to do. So first I want to print. So I'm printing a A. The next one is here we have to count. Make it as a sum, right? So sum, same thing. Sum equal to A plus B. The concept is same. We are using a while loop before we use for loop. So again we have to make it as a, this one is A, this one is B. Before this is a and B. Now I just wanted to make change. A equal to B. Then B equal to sum. So while loop, what we have to do, incremental has to be done over here, right? So in for loop, we have done, same line, but in while loop, we have to understand initializations should be done before the while, and the condition should be here, and incremental should be coming in the below of the script. Okay, now the same concept, we'll run this, we'll see how this is working. See, till 34 it is getting printed. So this is what your Fibonacci series. I hope this is clear. So this is while loop and this is a for loop. So inside that we have written same thing only. Same code we have written for a in while loop as well and for loop as well. This is how to find the nth Fibonacci series. Suppose if your task is to identify the 7th Fibonacci series or 8th Fibonacci series, right? So 7th or 8th, this particular number only you want to. Before what we have seen in a Fibonacci series, it's printed all the number from 0 to till the count. But here, if suppose if I am asking what is that 8th Fibonacci series, what is the 7th Fibonacci series? So in order to do that, we can go with the recursive method. So recursive method, I'm just going to create a method over here. I create a function for that. This function should return an integer value. So we'll create public static. Why I'm creating a static method? Because no need to create an instance of the class. So I'm creating a method with the static function. So now this is going to return an integer. So I'm saying integer over here. You can give any method name. So here we need to ask integer value, I mean total count, right? So what is that number? I mean nth Fibonacci means in 7th or 8th, whatever it is, when we are calling this function, right? So we have to return the number. integer number. So that's where we have written an integer. Here we have declare a function named fib. That is you can give any name that takes an integer, an argument and return an integer only. So in recursive function, usually we have a base case. In base case, we'll check given number is a less than equal to 1 or not. So for that we can say if, for always whenever we are using a conditions, you have to use a if condition. So if n less than equal to 1. If it is less than equal to 1, right, this is the base case of the recursive function. If n is 0 or less, the function should return n. So we can say return n. Right? So now return n means this is the base case actually. This is the base case of a recursive function. So if n is equal to n is a 0 or less than 1, right? So the function should return a n. So in the Fibonacci sequence, the first two numbers are coming into 0 and 1. So their values are directly returned without further clarity, calculation. So what we have to do, I'll create. So what we can say, return Fibonacci, the method. Recursive means what? We are calling the same function inside the method. That is what recursive function, right? So here we need to say n minus 1. This is the formula, right? For plus Fibonacci of Fibonacci. Why I am written fib? Because I am given a method name is this one. So if you are given a different method name, you have to give it. So now n minus 2. This is the function we have written. So now I just want to call this function into the main method. So how we have to call this main method? First we need to give how, what is that Fibonacci number we want to count. So a 8th number or 9th Fibonacci we want to count. So you can give a number equal to 9, 9 or 10, whatever it is, you can give. So now I'm printing. So I just wanted to print. Here we need to call the function. This function I need to call. Before that, if suppose I want to say this number as well, if you want to add, you can add this number. So 9 Fibonacci series. So I can say plus 9 Fibonacci number. You can call the function. So we are passing the argument is number. Okay, because we need to pass an integer over here, right? From there, it is asking an integer, so we need to pass. So now let me run this. See now, the 9th Fibonacci number is a 34. Right? So this is the way we need to identify. So if you give another number, maybe it's going to return. Let me run this. See, 21. So recursive algorithm by storing the result of expensive functions. Calls and returning the catched result when the same inputs occur again and again. This helps avoid redundant calculations. So that's why we are using a recursion method over here. So we can avoid repeated work done in the recursion approach by storing the Fibonacci number calculated so far. So that's what we are using this one. So I hope this is clear. So how to find the factorial number? So let's see if suppose if the given number is a 5. So now we need to identify the factorial of 5. So how to find the factorial? So the factorial number you can multiply 1 to given number. So 1 multiply by 2, multiply 3, multiply 4, multiply 5. So if you are given a 5, then you have to go with this. Suppose if the number is 6, then again you have to multiply 6 as well. This is what you have to do. So now suppose if the given number is a 5, what is that expected output? 1 multiplied by 2, 1 multiplied by 2 is a 2, 2 multiplied by 3, 6, 6 multiplied by 4, 24, 24 multiplied by 5, actually it's a 120. So this is what your expected output. So this is a simple way we can able to achieve this using a for loop. So let's create a for loop over here for int I equal to 1. So we have to start from 1 to given number. So before that I can say int number equal to 5. So till that has to iterate. So now here in the loop for int I equal to 1, I less than equal to 5. So I plus plus. So now we have to multiply. So how we are going to multiply? So 1 multiply by 2, the first number will be the 1. So now what we have to do? 1 multiply by 2, answer is a 2. So we need to store it in a one variable. This is the first iteration, then second iteration. So it will go and iterate 5 times, right? So now once it is iteration, the first multiplied, then we need to store it in a one more variable. So we can create a one more variable fact equal to, so initially it will be 1, right? So 1 first time here inside the loop we have to say fact equal to, because we are going to store the value, multiply value, we need to store it over here in this variable. So fact multiply I, right? So the first iteration, what happened? First iteration, the fact equal to 1, fact equal to 1 and 1 equal to, again 1 into 1. So the answer will be 1. So the fact answer will be 1 only. So the next iteration I become 2, right? So the next iteration fact is 1. Now 1 multiplied by 2. So the answer will be 2. So the fact value is holding a 2 value. So the next iteration I become 3. So 2 already is there. 2 into 3. So what is that value? 6. So the fact variable is holding the value of 6 next iteration. So after that, it's going to be 6 into 4. The I value become 4, right? So now 6 into 4, 24. So the fact value will going to store 24. So the next iteration, 24 into 5. That is a 120 answer, right? So now 24 into the I value become 5. So 24 into 5. So the answer is going to store it in a fact variable. Finally, we can print. We can print the fact. So because all the calculation values are stored in the fact variable only. So now we are printing. Let me run this. See now it's returning 120. This is what your answer. If you are given a 6, what happens? It will going to multiply 120 multiply by 6. So almost 620, right? So let me run this. Okay, because here we have given a 6 less than equal to, we can give number. Okay, now the answer is 720. So this is the way we have to understand the factorial number. Even we can go with this way as well. Suppose sometime, you can multiply from 5 into, this way also you can multiply 5, multiply 4, multiply 3, multiply 2, multiply 1. So in this way, if you multiply also, the answer should be the 120 only. So if you want to multiply this way, what we have to do? We need to go with int I equal to number. It starts from the number variable. Then we have to go with the greater than equal to 1. Then I minus minus. So you can go with any of the options you can go, but this is the way, this is the concept. This is the way we need to write a code for find the factorial number. Write Java program to find a minimum and maximum value from the array. So we can achieve this in a different way. First, we'll start from a simple one. So first we have to initialize an array. So we can say int of array of integer, then give any variable name equal to, we can assign a value within the curly brace. So we can add 1, 45, 77, something, any value we can give over here. And we can see 93 and 4. Right, some value we can give here. Once we initialized, what we have to do, we have to sort the array. Why? Because we need to find the minimum value and maximum value over here, right? So we can sort the array first. In order to do that, call sort method in the arrays class. So here we can say arrays dot sort method we need to call. Here in this argument we need to pass the array. Right? Array is this variable. Here only we have stored all the values in this array. So we need to pass the array. So now we have sorted this array. After sorting that, what are the value we'll be getting? So 1, comma 4, comma, and we'll get a 33 and 45. Next we'll get a 77 and 88 and 93. Right? So this is the order we'll be getting after sorting the array. Now, if you look at that sorted array, see this first element. This is what minimum value and this is what your maximum value. Right. So now what we have to do, I mean, zeroth element will be the zeroth index element is the minimum value and the last index element will be the maximum value. So now we can print that. Directly we can print array of zeroth index. So zeroth index will be, you will be getting a this one. That is the minimum value, right? So you can add a minimum value from the array. You can add plus. So array of 0, that is a minimum value. The same way, you can print maximum value as well. So maximum value from the array plus we can give array of the last index. So what is that last index over here? So we have to get the length first. Length minus 1. Why length minus 1? Because length will going to return you the complete length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to return you the 7. Right? But if I make it as an array of 7, what happens? It's going to throw you the exception. Why? Because in 7th index, there is no value. Index wise, the value is getting stored. So, the value is stored in 0th index, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th only. So, we need to pass array of 0 is the first element. I mean the minimum value. Array of 6 is the last element. So, that's the reason we have to say array dot length minus 1. Right? Array dot length will be going to return you the, so you can say within the square bracket we need to say array dot length minus 1. Right. So array of here will be getting a 6th element. 6th element will be this one. The last element is a 6th element. So this is the way we'll be getting a minimum and maximum value from the array. So I'll run this and I'll show you how this output will be. See, minimum value from the array is 1. Maximum value from the array is a 93. Right? So instead of 1, I can make it as a 7. Now the minimum value is a 4, right? So let's run again. See, minimum value is a 4, maximum value is a 93. This is one of the way we can achieve this. But if you go in this way, maybe interviewer may ask like, without using a sorting, how we can achieve that, right? So without using a sortings, let me command this line. So let us go and understand the another way. So another way is we can achieve, without sorting, we can achieve using a loops. So we have declared an array which the minimum and maximum values are there. So we have to initialize two variables first. So initializing a variable, first we can say initialize minimum value equal to, otherwise we can say small number. We can go with the minimum. Minimum equal to, can give any variable name. So minimum equal to, with value, I'm going to assign the first element in the array. Right? In first element in the array, here in this case, the first element will be the 7. Right? Which is the zeroth element. Zeroth index we need to pass. So I can say array of zeroth index. Right? I have just created a one variable. Assign a value of the first index. That is a zeroth index value. I just passed over here in the minimum value. The same way, similarly, I'll create a one more variable. That is a int maximum equal to array of 0. Here also I'm passing a 0. Alright. This is because to have an initial value to compare against when looking for a small number and looking for a large number, right? So this is the way we have to initialize two variables. So why we are initializing a two variable over here? Because with the value, we are assigning to any values, right? This is how to initialize value to the initial comparison. Initial comparison, just we are assigning any of the value over here with the minimum and maximum value. I'll show you that, how we are going to compare. Now we can use the loop, right? Using a for loop to iterate through the element of the array. So for we can go with the for loop. You can say int I equal to 0, I less than array dot length. So we can say I plus plus. So this is what, basically we have to initialize the for loop. So in the loop, initializing a loop here, variable I to 0 and it iterate through the length of the array. Fine. Now what we have to do inside the loop, there are a conditional statement. So we have to add a conditional statement to check if the current element of the array is equal to the minimum number and maximum number. So we have to compare over here. So I'm going to add a two conditional statement. One is for minimum value and one is for a maximum value we need to compare. So for that what we can do, always conditional statement will be the if statement. So array of I, that is a first element, that is a current element will come over here in the loop iterations, right? So now I am checking array of I greater than minimum value. Sorry, we can go with the maximum value, right? Array of I greater than maximum value. So if the current element means array of I, the current element array of I is greater than current maximum number, right? Current maximum number. So the maximum is updated to the value of array of I. If the condition is true, now what I am saying, I will be updating the maximum value equal to array of I. Right? If the condition is true, I am just updating over here. Right? So now we're coming into the else part. So in else part, we have another condition. So in these conditions, what we have to do, we need to say array of I less than minimum value. Here we are checking less than minimum value or not. So if the condition is true, right? If the current element of array of I is smaller than the current current minimum number, so the minimum is updated to the value of array of I. So what we can do, we can say minimum equal to array of I. So once the loop completes, the large number, that means maximum number, right? So maximum will be containing the maximum number in the array. And the minimum, variable will going to contain the minimum number, that is smallest number in the array. Finally, we can print the value. So finally, we can print the value of same, we can say, I'll do that. You can say minimum value from the array. So what we have to do, we need to say minimum, right? This is what the minimum value is containing. So now the same way, I can say maximum value. Maximum value from the array, we can print maximum value, right? So this is what it is holding. So the loop will iterate, till the, last index, right? So because we have given array dot length, till that it is going to iterate and it's going to compare. And if it is a greater, it is going to store it in a maximum. If it is a minimum, it's going to store it in a minimum variable. Finally, we are printing minimum and maximum variable over here. So now let's run this. We'll see how this is working. See, minimum value is a 4, maximum value is a 93. So this is what our expected one, right? So this is the way we can, go without using any short method. Just we are going with the loops and conditional statement, right? Using a loops and conditional, we can identify the minimum and maximum value from the array. So the next thing is how to find the minimum and maximum value of array of integer using a collections. That is also one of the important question. So now let us understand how we can achieve that using a collections. So let's declare an array of integer first. So I said, like, we are going to use a collections. In collections, minimum and maximum method is there. So we have to go with, now I'll say integer of array equal to, we can say the values, we can assign a value over here. So something like 1, 45, 77, we can say 88, 33, 93, 4, and we can say 8. So these are the value I have assigned. So initialize it with the values. Now in this case, the use of integer, right, instead of int. Before what we have done, we have used int. But now here we are using a integer, right? Why? Because we are going to use a collections, right? So the use of integer instead of int allows us to work with the collections. Right? Collections always allow only object data type, not a primitive data type. Right? Int is a primitive data type. So instead of int, we use the integer over here. Right? Because we are going to use a collections. Collections always we have to use a object class only. There is no primitive data type allowed in the collections. Fine. So now we have initialized the value over here. Integer of array. We are using array. The value we have assigned. Now we are going to use collections dot maximum method to find the maximum value in the array. So we can say collections dot maximum value. So here we need to pass the array. We can't pass the array directly over here. Why? Because this is we need to convert this. So for that, what we have to do, arrays dot as list. We need to pass the array over here. Right? So this arrays dot as list convert the array of integer object to a list of integer. Right? Because in collections list only, list is there, right? So direct array we can't able to use. That's where we have to convert the array of integer objects to list of integer. So that's where we are using a arrays dot as list method over here. Right? Now we can store the, store it in a maximum value. So I can say integer maximum equal to, we can store the value. Right? And print the maximum value as well. So here collections dot maximum function, right? It's going to return you the maximum value. So we can print maximum value from the array. We can give maximum value, right? This is the variable we have stored, right? So I'm just passing this one. Similarly, we use the collections dot minimum method to find the minimum value from the array. So we can say collections dot minimum value. Here also we have to use the arrays dot as list method. Arrays dot as list. Here we can pass the array over here. Right? So arrays dot as list convert the array of integer object to list of integer. Right? So now we can see collections dot minimum return the minimum element in the specified list. So we can store that integer minimum equal to, we can store the value in this way. Now we can print the value, print the minimum value in the console. So how we have to print that? So directly we can print minimum value from the array. You can pass the minimum variable. So minimum variable we have given over here. Right. So now let's run this. See, maximum value we have given is a 88, minimum value is a 1. Right, so it is a efficiently we can find the minimum and maximum value in an array of integer object by converting the array into a list and using the collections dot maximum and collections dot minimum method provided by the Java collections framework. So I hope this is clear. Check the given number is positive or negative. So how to check if a given number is a positive or negative, we are going to learn in this video. The first step, what you have to do, you need to initialize a number. For example, you have to add int, then give any variable name equal to, you can assign a value to the variable. You can choose any number you want to check for a positivity or negativity. So now how to check the positivity and the negativity? Suppose you can think in this way. Now in this line, to check whether a number is a positive or negative with respect to a central point as a 0. So consider the center as a reference point, right? So now if a given number is a greater than 0, it is considered as a positive. Right? If the number comes this way, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 is coming this side and -1, -2 will be coming this side. Right? So now if a given number is a greater than the 0, then it is considered as a positive. If it is less than 0, then it is considered as a negative. This is the way we need to understand. So let us start condition over here. If the number is positive, we need to check first. So for that, we can use the if condition. If number is greater than 0. Now we need to check number is greater than 0. Here we are using a greater than operator to check if the number is greater than 0. If this condition is true, we print the message saying that we can print given number is positive. Okay. If the number greater than 0, then so why? Because we have make it as a reference as a 0. Right. So that's what we need to check. So now here the next we need to check another condition as well, checking the negativity as well. So if the condition for the positivity is not made, right? So we can add a else if condition. Else if condition to check if the number is negative. So you can say else if, here you have to add another condition. Here you need to say number is less than 0. So if it is, in this case, we use less than operator to check if the number is less than 0. If this condition is true, we print the message. We can print number is negative. Given number is a negative number. So we say given number is negative. Right? In this case, we have used the less than operator. Here we have used greater than operator. So now handling that next condition, handling a neither positive nor negative, what happened? Because if I added a 0 over here, then we have to add one more messages also. Already, both if and else if conditions are not satisfied, it means number is neither positive nor negative. In this case, we can add a else block over here. So we can say else, we can print the message saying that this is a, you can say given number is 0. You can say 0 or you can say neither positive nor negative. This is what you have to add. This message indicates that number is falls into the neither category. So now let's run this. See now given number is a positive one. So now if you want to change the value, suppose if I added a negative number over here, now let's run this. See now it is saying given number is a negative. Same way if you try to add a 0 over here, you say 0, then if you run this code, it should print the given number is a neither positive nor negative. So this is how you can check if your number is positive or negative in Java. It is a fundamental concept in programming and it can be applied to the various real-world scenarios as well. So now another Java interview question, check given two strings are anagrams or not. So let us understand what is anagram first. So anagrams are words formed by rearranging the letters of another word. using all the original letter exactly once. Right? For example, I can say stop and we have a post. So if you observe these two words, right? If you observe here, in these two strings have the same number of characters. And the frequency of each character in both the strings is also the same. In simple term, you can understand this word formed by, right? This word formed by a rearranging the letter of first word. This is what anagram. So let's say another example. For example, I can say cat is there. So now you try to rearrange it and form the new word. So you can say another word, maybe act, right? So same letters, right? Same frequency is there. Same characters. See, it is A is there, C is there, T is there. So this is what your anagram is. Same way, if you want another example, I can say thing is there. Right? With this word, we can rearrange and form a new word. So I can say NIGHT. Right? Same. N is there over here. I is there. G is there. H is there. T is there. Right. So now this is what your anagram. So let us start write a code for checking two strings are anagram or not. So first thing is what we have to do. We need to initialize the two strings. First we can say string str1 equal to, you can give any value. I'll say start. Okay. So now another string str2 equal to, you can give another value post. Right? And value stop and post. Here I have added exact anagram. We can change the string and check another scenarios as well. So now the strings are not a case sensitive at this point, right? Because here see it is a caps, it is a small, and this is caps, this is small, right? So now we have to convert both strings, right? str1 and str2 to lowercase. So to ensure that the comparison is case insensitive. So if you want to convert in Java, we have a method called to lowercase, right? How to convert? So str1 equal to str1 dot to lowercase. So this will going to convert it into lowercase letter. All the characters going to convert it into lowercase. The same way we can do str2 equal to str2 dot to lowercase. This is also will going to convert it into lowercase letter. All the characters should be in a lowercase after conversion. So now what we have to do, after conversion, both strings will be in a lowercase. While checking the anagram, right? First we can check the length. We find the length and compare the length of two strings. If they have same length, it means they could be potentially be anagrams. Since anagrams must have the same number of characters, right? If it is a 4 characters, means here also 4 characters. If it is a here 4 character, if it is 5 character, then it is not anagram. That's a first check itself. It will be coming out of not anagram. Right. So now that's where we are checking first length. So finding the length in string, we have a method called length is there. So we can say str1 dot length. It is going to return you the length. How many lengths are there in the particular string? So now you can store the length with any variable. You can say int length 1 equal to str1 dot length. Same way int length 2 equal to str2 dot length. So now I am getting a two strings length. Now we have to check the condition. Add a condition to check the length is equal or not. So always we are going to use if condition. If length 1 equal to length 2. Right? If the condition is true, then next step would be convert the string str1 and str2 into the character. We have to start process. If the condition is true. If the condition is not true, what we have to do? The condition is not true, will be coming into the else block. Here we can say it is not anagram, right? Because if the length is not matching, then it should not be the it's not with the anagram. So we can write a message saying that given strings are not anagram. Here if the condition is true, then we have to go with the another check, right? So for then next what we have to do, first we have to convert this string into character, right? First step what we have to do, we have to convert the string str1 and str2 into the character arrays. For conversion, we have a method called two character arrays there, right? So what we can do, str1 dot two character array. So this two character array will going to convert it into array, right? So we can store it in an array of character. Can give any variable name ch1 equal to. The same way we are going to convert str2 as well. So character of array ch2 equal to str2 dot two character array. So this is also going to convert it into characters. So why we are converting this to character, I'll let you know that. Now each character in the string is stored in an element of character array. So next what we have to do, we have to sort the character array, right? ch1 and ch2 we have to make it as a ascending order. For sorting the order, we have method called arrays dot sort method we need to call. So in the sort method, we need to pass ch1. The same way we can say, I'll add one more ch2 as well. So now we are, converting, we are, changing into sorting, that is ascending order. Sorting the character is essential over here for comparing whether the strings are anagrams, because the order of characters in an anagram can be different, but the sorted character arrays will be the same if the words are anagrams, right? Now add a condition over here. Here we are going to check the condition. In condition, we can check if the sorted character array, that is ch1 and ch2, right, are equal or not, right? So after sorting, we'll be getting a same characters, right? So now we are going to check the condition if arrays dot equal method we need to call. So here we can say ch1 and ch2. Right? If it is equal, then what we have to do? We need to say they are equal means it means two strings are have the same set of characters. And therefore, that is an anagram. If the condition is true, print. We can print given strings are anagram. Right? If the condition is false, if the sorted character arrays are not equal, it means the strings are not anagram. So you can say in else block, we'll print given strings are not anagram. Right? So length is not equal also. Here we are passing the string is not anagram. So this else for block will be for the this one. If the length is not equal, then it is going to print this one. This is system of println. We have given a given strings are not anagram. So now what we have done so far, we are convert two strings into lowercase and check if they have a same length. Right, and then sort the characters in both strings to determine if they are anagram based on the sorted character array. If the sorted arrays are equal, the strings are considered anagram. Otherwise, not. So now let's run this and we'll understand. The given strings are anagram. So now if I'm trying to change something like, I'll be changing this also, yes. Okay. So now let's run this. See, given strings are not anagram. If you add a one more character, one more letter, so now here length itself it is coming into the else block. So now, see, given strings are not anagram. Right? So here this is what the step we have to do. Now the next interview question, Java interview question, how to convert a negative number to positive number. This is straightforward and fundamental interview question, but many candidates struggle to provide a satisfactory response. So now let us understand how we have to achieve this. You can achieve this in a different way. First one is to convert a negative number to positive equivalent in Java. You can use the absolute value function from the math class. So I'll start write a simple program over here. So we can create a variable int negative number equal to can give any number. Right? So you can change the number as per the different scenario. I mean, this number you can change. So now let's see using a math.apps function to convert it into a positive number. So we can say int, I'll give int positive number equal to math dot. So I'm just creating a one more variable over here because I just wanted to convert and store it in a variable called positive number. So we need to call a method called math.apps function. So here we need to pass the negative number. Right. So now if you're passing a negative number over here, this will going to return you the absolute value of the this number. Right. So now we can print that. So if you want to print original number as well, so you can print the original number as well. So you can say original negative number add negative number. Okay, this variable. So the next one is after converting to positive, negative to positive, then we can print positive number. Here you can say converted positive number. Converted positive number plus you can say positive number. So now let's run this. See now before we have given this one, it is converted to 6. So if you want to change another number, suppose if you are having 8, so it is converted to positive number. What we have done so far, so we have defined a negative number, set it to minus 8. You can change this value to any negative number you like. We use a math.app function, so to convert the negative number to positive. So this math.app function return the absolute value of a number. Then we print both the original negative number and the converted positive number to the console. When you run this program, it will convert the negative number to its positive, counterpart and display the result as in the console. That's what we have seen. This is one of the way. So what is that another way? So this is simply we are using an inbuilt function. Now without using an inbuilt function, so what we can do? So another simple way without using an inbuilt function is multiplying a negative number by minus 1. It will give the positive value of that number. So let us do that. So I'll just remove this. I'll command this. I'll make it down. Now we have initialized the number with the negative number. And I just create a one more variable, positive number. Okay. I'm not assigning any value. So I just create a variable. So now we need to check the condition. First, we need to check whether it is a negative or not. So for that, we can say if negative number is less than 0, right? Less than 0 means that is a negative number. So if the condition is true, what I'm saying, I just wanted to positive number, the variable we have already initialized over here, right? So we have created a variable over here. Now we are going to initialize the value. So the positive number equal to negative number into, multiply by minus 1, right? So that's what we have to do. Multiply by minus 1. Now we are getting a positive number. right? Then we can print the positive number. We can add a positive number because it is converted, because we have multiplied by -1. This is one of the way. So if suppose we have given a not a negative number means, then you can coming into the else block. That else block we are saying will print the as it is the number. So we can print negative number. Because if it is not a negative, then directly we can print the same values. Right, now run this. You can see. So this is one of the simple ways. See now, positive number 8. This is converted into 8. I can give a space over here. Now let's run this. The positive number 8. If you are adding a one more value, maybe I can say 2. Run this. So it's returning a positive number. Now suppose if I am not adding any negative sign, then we can see this is a way, because the condition is false, it will coming into this block, right? Here we have given a only negative number. So that's what it is printing original number. Whatever we have given, that is going to print over here. So this is one of the way to convert a negative number to positive number. This is one of the way. So another way is that. So suppose I will check this, remove all these things. Now what we have to do, we can initialize negative number equal to, we can give -9. Okay, any of the number you can give. Declare a variable to store a positive number, right? So we can say int positive number. So just declare a variable. We are going to initialize. Here also we are going to check the condition. Here instead of, before what we have seen multiply by -1. Here we are going to use a negate the negative. Say how we have to do that. Simply negate the negative number means first we need to check the condition if that is a negative number or not. If a negative number less than 0 only will be coming into the negative number. So if the condition is true, negate the negative number. If you put a negative sign in front of the positive number, it becomes a negative integer. Similarly, if you put a negative sign in front of the negative integer, it becomes a positive integer. So what we have to do, if the condition is true, positive number already we have declared here, we can declare, right? So positive number equal to, we have to add a minus negative number. So what we have done, you put a negative sign. See, this is the sign I have added over here. If you put a negative sign over here, this will be converted into positive. Right? So this is one of the way we can do that. So now let's see. If the condition is false, it will coming into the else block. Else block we can say positive number equal to the same number will be the positive number, right? So that's what we have to add. This is one of the way. So finally we can print both the original number and the converted positive number as well. So if you want to print both the number, you can print original negative number, you can say plus, this is negative number. This is the variable we have to pass. The same way, if you want to print conversion number after converting negative to positive, then we can say converted positive number plus you can add positive number. Right? So now let's see. Now we have given a negative number. So now run this. See now this is what you are given number, and after converting we are giving a positive number. Suppose if I change this, it is going to print as it is. See, before also you have given the same thing. It is not converted now. So what we have done here, we have defined a negative number and set it to minus, any number, right? You can change this value to any negative number you like. We declare a variable positive number over here to store the positive number. We use if condition. We use an if condition to check if negative number is negative. Right, so if they are negative, negative less than number less than 0 if it is a negative. So we negate it by adding a minus sign. Right, if the condition is true, we added a minus sign over here for negate the negative number. Right, so then if it is a positive, then we leave as it is. That's what we have given over here. Finally, we have printed both the original number and converted positive number as well. Right, so when you are running this program, it will print converted number and the positive number as well. This is what you have to do. This is simple way we can achieve this. Right, so I hope this is clear.